Hello and welcome to the Heliosblog. My name is Helios. Today we're going to talk about how to succeed on a first date, 20 rules to follow. I want you to get laid. The problem is that in order to do that you have to get over the dreaded first date. Ever felt awkward on a first date? Me too. Then I learned, and I was never awkward on first dates again. Here are some rules you can follow so you can be suave on your first dates. Enjoying my content? Check out my blog at heliosblog.com. On YouTube, you can support me by liking and subscribing. I'm also on Spotify if you'd prefer a podcast. If you're interested in my books, The Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By, they're available on Amazon. In addition, you can follow me on Patreon at theheliosblog for exclusive content. On with the show. Rule number 1. The first date should last only 1 hour. But Helios, she's beautiful and special and we're having such a great time. Fantastic, that means she likes you, now cut it short. The reason you cut the first date short is because of the concept called ASD, which is anti-slut defense. Women do not want to be perceived as a slut, and so they do not want anything to do with, they don't want to do sexual things on the first date. If you try being sexual on the first date, you'll see there's a lot of resistance. It gets very awkward and often all the effort you spent on building rapport is broken. Rather than force the issue, you should sidestep it. Your goal for the first date is to establish rapport and warmth. Here's how you do it. Ask questions to lead the conversation. If she doesn't like the topic, change the topic subtly. Do this until you hit a subject she loves. Keep reflecting her good feelings back at her by asking more questions about the subject. Once the atmosphere of warmth is established, it's time to end the date. You should leave the date feeling like it went well. If you feel warm and fuzzy inside, that's a good sign. It means you established rapport. Congrats. On to the next rule. Rule number 2. Limit your talking. On the first date, a guy is looking to qualify a girl. He's looking for reasons why he likes her. Girls are the opposite. On first dates, women look to disqualify. They look for things they don't like. When they find something, they quickly lose interest. This is especially true if they're over the age of 23 and they're no longer in the rockstar phase. The way to reduce your chances of being disqualified is by reducing how much you talk. Basically, during the hour that your first date lasts, the total time you as the man should talk is about 15 minutes, or a quarter of the time. The rest should be her. You direct the conversation, she talks. Rule 3. Never compliment a woman's appearance. I tend to never compliment a woman's appearance even if it's past the first date, though generally it's safe to do so if you've slept with her on 2 separate occasions. On the first date, however, if you compliment her appearance, she'll immediately put you in the provider category. No sex zone for you. You can compliment her on her outfit or some accessories she's wearing, that's different. This is especially true if you relate it to her trying to impress you. For example, let's say you like the outfit she's wearing. You could say something like, I love that outfit, it's very modern, it looks like you put a lot of thought into it. In this way, you're subcommunicating that she worked hard to look good for you. A strong frame for sure. Rule 4. No job interview questions. Do not ask the following. What do you do for a living? What are your kids or parents like? What do you like to do for fun? If you really need to, ask these kinds of questions very infrequently. Basically, we're trying to avoid having a beta date. It's the kind of date that loser guys go on with women where they're bored to tears, but the woman finds out you have money. Instead, ask something like this. What have you been up to lately? Favorite food? Have you been traveling? You seem like you're a whatever person. Beer or wine? Basically, these questions will lead to her revealing cool things about herself, which you can then play off of to get the rapport you're seeking. Rule 5. Don't lie. If she asks you questions you don't want to answer, deflect but don't outright lie. Some women in the lady phase, above age 29 or so, will directly ask you if you're seeing other women or sleeping around. You want to deflect and not answer the question instead of lying. You'll save yourself drama down the road. Trust me. Deflecting the question is in itself an answer. It's an alpha answer that preserves rapport since it's veiled. She will know what your answer is and understand that you're the kind of person who's discreet about these things. That's great for you. Rule 6. Do not discuss any of your past relationships or sexual experiences. If she asks, say a few sentences about it and quickly redirect. Do not talk about your past relationships or sexual experiences on the first date. You don't want the awkward breaking of rapport bringing up the past ads. Again, our goal for the first date is to establish rapport. We can't do that if we're talking about ourselves, especially sexually. Rule 7. Make her laugh. Make jokes about the stuff she says. Don't direct the jokes at her personality, but at the situation. When you ask her if she's been traveling, for example, you can make fun of weird tourists. When I say to joke, I don't mean to nag. She has to know you're making a joke and not think you're insulting her. Other ways to make her laugh are by talking about ridiculous things that happen to you that are related to the things she's talking about. Build rapport this way and you'll see some great results. Rule 8. Relax and assume a laid-back posture. Before you meet a girl, if you're nervous, take some deep breaths and try to relax. Drink water if you need to. When you're sitting in the chair, lean back and take up as much space as possible. You want to give the impression that you're lounging and comfortable. Alphas are relaxed wherever they are, and you're an alpha, aren't you? When she sees that you're relaxed, she'll be more relaxed too. Fantastic. Alphas are not scared of any environment they're in. You want the girl to feel like she's entering a safe place, one you've made. To help you with this, you could invite many women to the same place. Once you know what to expect, you'll feel much more comfortable and relaxing should be easier. When you're both relaxed and comfortable, talking about things you both enjoy, you've got rapport. Nice. Rule 9. Be outcome independent. Alphas are outcome independent. This means they don't care about the individual outcome of the situation they're in, they care about women as a group. You don't care if this date doesn't work out, there's 100 more waiting. You don't chase, you replace. When you've internalized the idea that no individual girl matters, but rather your ability to seduce women as a group, you'll relax. When you know that there are thousands of opportunities for you waiting, it isn't hard to succeed. Women will feel this attitude and be drawn in. It's powerful stuff. Rule 10. Do not kiss on the first date. Yes, this is even true if you feel the sexual tension. The reason is that on the first date, anti-slut defense, ASD, is highest. If you feel rapport, warmth and sexual tension on the first date, and you cut it short before that tension is diffused, you'll get laid on the second date for sure. If you kiss on the first date, you diffuse the sexual tension and you increase her ASD. Now she's going to feel like she's, a banana gobbler for kissing you on the first date and won't want to see you again. I know it's ridiculous. Just say no to kissing on the first date. Do this and watch how much more you get laid. Rule 11. Do not spend money on the first date. I don't mean like $10. I mean don't go on expensive first dates ever. No restaurants, no movies, no rock climbing gyms or other event dates. Your first date should be in a chill, inexpensive environment. If you go on an expensive first date, you immediately signal you're a beta. You're giving up your resources too easily. You signal that you're easy. It's just all bad. Actually, I recommend never spending money on a woman ever, but that's just me. Let the betas in her life splurge on her while you have the great sex he wishes he could have with her. Rule 12. Eye contact. Don't stare at her for the entire time, but make good eye contact. Look at her for a few seconds, then look away, then repeat. Good eye contact builds intimacy and rapport. Practice good eye contact with everyone you meet. People will like you more in general if you have good eye contact. Rule 13. Smile. You should smile. There are some rules, however, on how you should smile. You want the girl to be full smiling and you should be half smiling. It's a much more reserved masculine smile. You're sub-communicating through the smile that you're relaxed, confident, and not as into her as she is into you. I'd recommend that you train yourself to never full smile again and instead replace it with this half smile. It's a very important subtlety. Rule 14. When you do talk, tell amazing stories. No matter what you do, you're going to have to talk at some point in the date. You want the things that come out of your mouth to be some high-value, cool things. Think about 2 really cool things you do. I know you have something. Everyone has something. If you don't, then you should aim to build a life where you do have something you like. These can be anything. For me, I play the guitar and practice martial arts. I've also traveled to many countries. When a girl asks me about me, I'll tell a story related to one of these topics. You do the same. Telling amazing stories makes a good impression, helping you with rapport. She'll also want to know more about you, making it more likely she'll want to see you in the future. Amazing. Rule 15. Break the touch barrier. This is why I prefer walking dates. It's very easy to touch a girl when you're walking. You can lightly push her, touch her hands, shoulders, whatever. The way you break the touch barrier is stepwise. You don't want to make her uncomfortable, so you start with places that are less personal. Here's a list of less personal areas. Shoulder, upper arm, upper back. Slightly more personal areas are hands, bicep, waist. I hope I don't have to tell you the very personal areas. You won't be touching those on the first date on purpose. Try this fun way to break the touch barrier. When she says something ridiculous, you can lightly push her. Something I like to do is just walk into her gently while we're walking, pushing her off to the side. When done in a light-hearted way, it builds rapport and is fun. You'll feel like a kid again. It builds that warm, fuzzy feeling. Try it and see how it works. Rule 16. Do not nag. Do not insult a girl to bring her down a peg. In my experience, it doesn't work and only serves to piss her off. Nagging breaks rapport, which we're trying to build. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by insulting the girl. Again, on the first date, our goal is to build rapport, not take her ego down. Girls with big egos, in fact, are easier to seduce. We don't want to bring that down, we want to egg it on. Rule 17. Be 5 minutes late. If you schedule the meet for 6:30, be there at 6:35. If she texts you at 6:30 saying she's there, even if you're there, reply at 6:35 with "I'm here." This is important because it subcommunicates that your time is more valuable than hers. She'll feel like she's meeting someone more important than her, and this will help to activate her hypergamy, the thing girls have where they want a superior partner. This is a small subtlety that will improve your odds of getting laid later. Rule 18. Make her come find you. If you're meeting at a mall or coffee shop or whatever, you tell her where you are and have her find you. She's already putting an effort to be with you when you get her to do this. You definitely want a frame of her doing things for you or chasing you. This starts off both of you on the right foot. It's a subtlety that will also improve your results. Rule 19. Hygiene. Make sure your outfit is coordinated and your shoes are clean. Make sure you have good posture and your breath smells good. Core exercise will improve your posture if it's bad, so do martial arts. Cologne helps as well. Watch out for sweaty armpits. To avoid the sweaty armpit thing, you can shave your armpits and use antiperspirant. We're trying to make a good impression and build rapport. Hard to do when you're sweaty, smelly, and have bad posture. Another thing is wearing a darker shirt. Darker shirts hide sweat better than lighter ones, especially if they're cotton. Rule 20. Pay the tab. If you meet at a coffee shop, buy the coffees for both of you. Once again, make sure you're not meeting at a place that's too expensive. $15 is no big deal, so you should pay. Once again, never go on expensive dates with a girl, it sends the wrong message. Conclusion. That's 20 rules you can follow to do better on a first date. Try all of them and see how much better you do. Again, try to keep the date to 1 hour and cut it short. You want the girl to feel all warm and fuzzy inside by the end of the date, so she wants to meet you again. Nothing sexual on the first date and no kissing. We don't want to spike ASD. Build rapport and then cut it short. Good luck.